Yeah, you can do wherever you're feeling comfortable.
And we're going.
Hi, Garrett Swann, and this is the casserole dish, and I'm in bed with Mark Booker. Mark, who are you playing in the Casserole Club?
I play Leslie Holleran.
Fabulous. And so, Mark,
Yeah.
tell me something.
Yeah.
Do you cook?
A little bit, yeah, I do. A
Okay.
little bit. Not that often.
But what's your dish?
I bought a book. It's all about vegan, and it's this great vegan cookbook. And I like to pick sort of just at random a recipe in there and just make it every so often. So
Right.
it's not a big priority for me to cook, but I like to.
Does your wife cook for you?
She does. She tries because she's not vegan, vegetarian.
So you need to get her a cookbook.
I know. Well, she has plenty of cookbooks. She likes her dishes, and so she often will cook for herself. I take most of my meals standing, actually.
Okay.
I'm swift when I eat. Swift when I eat.
So if there was a dish about Mark Booker, what would that dish be called?
Goodness, a Mark Booker dish.
Like Mark a la.
Yeah, it'd be like I don't even know, like the bookmark, like the bookmark dish, like the one that defines you. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't eat food.
What do you eat?
Ever? Yeah, no, I just don't. I don't like food that much.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's okay for keeping me alive.
So breakfast, lunch, or dinner? What's your favorite meal?
I'm actually a big breakfast person.
Are you?
And
Why?
I'll tell you, what, I'm glad you brought that up. Because
Really?
I'm really glad you brought
Why
that
are
up.
you happy about that?
Because I am the kind of person that could eat breakfast for every meal.
Okay.
And actually, my cooking abilities are strongest in the breakfast category.
So you do like a tofu scramble?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, to name a good dish that would define me is like a nice tofu breakfast burrito.
Right.
Because I'm very much like, I love all the ingredients all in one place.
Right.
So I can just consume it all, like at one time. So
Okay.
instead of, many dishes, I'm all about efficiency. So, efficient eating.
Efficient eating.
That's what I'm about.
I'm organized.
Organized, efficient eating. Let's do it and move on.
Well, do you like it when your other pieces of food touch your other food?
No, I don't mind. I like it all.
Yeah.
I like it all together.
It's all going in the same place anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Mark Booker was a recipe,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And like cups and measurements and cups, teaspoons, tablespoons, could be gallons, pints, whatever.
Yeah.
Barrels. What would your recipe be to define you, Mark Booker?
To define me, Mark Booker.
Yes.
It would be equal parts love, 1 cup love.
Okay.
So we have our bowl. 1 cup of love.
Yeah.
I love everybody.
Okay.
1 cup of loyalty.
Okay.
I love everybody.
He's loyal.
And very,
He's so loyal.
very,
And he's loving.
I'm lovingly loyal.
Okay.
And that's about, 1 cup love, 1 cup loyal, and then you mix it up, and you sprinkle in like a little bit of like generosity.
Do you need to heat it up a little bit?
My recipe is best served cold.
Okay.
And you have to eat it in the dark with me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the scandal side.
Speaking of the dark.
That's the scandal side, is you have to eat it in the dark.
Well, speaking of the dark, what have you ever had sex in the kitchen before?
I never have.
No?
No.
Is it something you'd ever explore?
No, of course.
Oh, okay.
I'm all about the sex. Anyway.
Okay. All
But
right.
the kitchen would be. I like the sort of carnal idea of sex in the kitchen.
Right.
It's exciting.
Have you ever lied to anybody?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we all have, I think.
What's the worst lie you ever
The
told?
worst lie I ever told? My, that's a good one. I don't know, I can remember growing up. No, I'll tell you what, I remember the first lie I ever told. The first lie is probably the worst lie, because it's for the rest of my life. Lies every now and then. I remember when I was a little kid, maybe 3 years old, I was outside playing, and I had stomped through my mother's flowers. on purpose.
Right.
Kicked them up, spread them everywhere.
Okay.
And we lived right next to a farm.
Right.
And she had come out and said, "Did you do this? I had dirt on my shoes. I was so guilty."
Mm-hmm.
I looked her right in the eye and I said that the neighbor's dog had come over and dug him up.
It's like the dog that ate the homework.
Exactly. And she right immediately was just like, "Go to your room. You just lied to me."
You got caught.
It was the
so
first,
you're a bad liar. Is that what you're telling me?
At the age of 3, I definitely was.
Okay.
But I had talked to my dad about it, and he's like, it was then that you didn't understand the difference between telling a story
Right.
and lying.
Right.
Because you used to just tell stories, and we accepted it as a story. But
Right.
that was the first time you ever used it.
Right.
To get out of something.
Okay. All right. What do you think? What do you think, if any, what is wrong with marriages and relationships today? What do you think the common problem is?
That's a good question. I say, and speaking a little bit from my personal relationships over the years, it's honesty, you know, and I think honesty is more difficult than people think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everyone thinks, "Oh, I'm honest. I'm a really honest person," you know,
Right.
and they think that they're being honest. But it's so easy, especially when you love somebody, as much as, married people do, or when you're in a committed relationship. If you love somebody so much, you never want to hurt their feelings. You know, you never want to be on the side of hurting them in any way.
Right.
And so when the truth hurts, it's
Right.
so much easier to be dishonest,
Right.
or just to not say anything, which is also a form of dishonesty.
That's good. Good point.
So
Nice.
I think
like
honesty is what's wrong with marriages, and if we could all just sort of figure out a way to.
that. And what do you think the best age to get married is?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you're married, right?
I am married,
Yeah.
and I waited. We're engaged for forever, and
Do you feel like people need to get to know themselves first before they get into that really
Most
deep,
definitely.
like marriage relationship?
most definitely, and I think it's changing too. You know, my parents were married at 22 and 20,
Okay.
and then I was married at
A little young.
they were married 22 and 20 and claimed they were ready, and they're still together. You know,
Yeah.
so
Same as mine.
it worked.
Yeah.
But as I passed my parents' age
Right.
that they were married, then as I passed the age of when I was born, when my brother and sister were born, and I was then on the other side of, by the time I was 27 when I got married, they had 3 kids and had been married for, 6, 7 years, and I felt really comfortable about, hey, I'm 27, 28, that's a good age, I think.
Okay.
You go through so much from like 22 to 26-ish.
That seems so long ago.
It does. It seems that long ago for me. I can't imagine.
Not really. I still feel like I'm a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
So, if times are rough in a relationship, do you think it's better to work it out, divorce, or or separate? What do you think?
Again, it goes, I think, back to the honesty thing. You should, I think, set up a hierarchy, of things that are really important to you.
Right.
Is working it out really important to you? Then you should work it out.
Right.
If it's not really important to you, you shouldn't kid yourself.
Right.
You should be honest with yourself and do the right thing. You know, how important is the relationship to you?
Yeah.
It's not, there's no point in being in it because it's never going to work until you're ready to work it out. And whether that's a maturation thing or whether you're just ready to move on, you've become different people. While I feel like the divorce rate is really high,
Right.
I also feel like there shouldn't be those limitations on, well, you're married,
So people
figure it out.
So you think that people should really figure it out first
Ahead of
before
time.
they really contemplate?
No,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's why it seems like when people get married, they get like their nerves because they're like, oh my God, is this for eternity? It's that fear.
No, you should definitely figure it out ahead of time. But if you don't get that luxury, or you become a different person later or something, I don't think you should have the limitations set on you by there. Societal limitations can be really, can put a lot of pressure on you. I mean, while I'm not sitting here saying, get divorced. I'm saying
What?
Figure it out, and if you don't get figured out, don't sweat the separation. It's part of growth.
Right. What have you not done in your relationship that you would like to do?
Oh,
experience in your relationship?
These are hard questions.
I know.
Just to think of, like just to have an answer. Luckily, I've thought about a lot of this. I would like to experience, like, there's still this level of like being impressive and I guess that's a bad way to put it, but like wanting to be impressive to my wife or to things like that. I would love to get to a point where I'm just so completely comfortable back and forth where we just are, and it's just Mark and Jamie, you know what I mean? It's just like completely, like completely integrated and just completely understood, but also loving and accepting of that feeling, because that can be a big time pressure cooker too. Right. Being like, oh, I don't have an identity anymore. But being comfortable with having that as my identity. That would be really nice.
Yeah. And we're contending with the blow dryer at the moment, but that's okay.
I think it's symbolic.
Okay. The last question is, if you were a bottle of liquor, or it could be beer, wine, liquor, schnapps, what would you be? Who would Mark Booker be? What kind of? You could even say a label.
Okay.
What type of liquor would you be, and why?
I've had a lot of experience with liquor. I would definitely be a liquor. A little more refined, but still able to liven things up.
So what would that be?
I think I would definitely be a premium vodka.
Okay.
A premium vodka.
That's good.
I sort of sneak up on you. Got minimal calorie content. I'm sort of the total package.
Excellent.
For enabling or for having a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's do one more thing. Tell me what your ideal relationship is.
My ideal relationship?
Yeah.
An ideal relationship to me is that sort of kind of like culmination of what we've been talking about.
Right.
And like build up to being very honest and being very outright about feelings. And I think people hold in too much. Right. And I do. I hold in too much. I don't want to say something that hurts other people. Right. And sometimes that's the necessary thing. And so I would love, in an ideal relationship, to be able to just say, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling. And then to have it be reciprocated. Right. In understanding, not in like anger or jealousy or nothing comes out. It's then reciprocated with, I understand. Let's work on that. Like that kind of thing. Right. Then I think that the time together is more enjoyable. Can I tell one quick story? Yeah. One quick story. Yeah. Go for it. There's this really beautiful moment that I refer to in my relationship a lot, just as something that I really, really enjoyed. Right. And then I was sitting in a restaurant with my wife. And I don't think we were going through problems or anything, but it just seemed sort of odd. But we went to this restaurant, and I had my iPod on me, and so we've got this nice Italian music, and we ordered a bottle of wine, and we had drank the wine, so we're both a little tipsy, and we're sitting there, and it's the end of our meal, and we should have left probably a little bit ago, but I pull out my iPod, and I give her one ear, and I take one ear. And in the middle of all this, crazy Italian restaurant thing going on, we just listened to music. We just sort of sat there and listened to music. And we were laughing and enjoying the songs I was playing. And it's just like, that
sounds pretty ideal.
It was very idyllic. Yeah. That day, I remember being just, that was one of those moments where you're just completely happy with how it went.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Well, you're a good disher.
I love dishing. And we just dish? We
dished.
We dished.
We dished in bed. Isn't that comfortable to dish in bed?
I'm not going to leave.
That's Mark Booker.
Hi.
That's the Casserole Club.
Thanks for having me, Garrett. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks for being here.
No, let's do this tomorrow.
You can cut it.